Hello, 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 everyone. Over here where the lighting is a little bit better. Hello. How are you guys doing? Hope you're doing magnificently well. I know I certainly am. It's a gorgeous day. Got my baby girl on my chest here. Got my other one swinging on the swing. Let's go. Just wait for a few people to come in here. We can get started. It's weird. I have to hold this very specific angle to make sure it's all well lit and whatnot. Hello to those of you who just hopped in. Hello, hello. How are you guys doing? I would love to know. Let me know if you can hear the audio and everything okay. I would certainly appreciate it. As always, anybody who wants to bring up a chemistry topic, ask any question, or otherwise, let me know. I would love to know what's going on your mind, in your world, and all the rest. Hello, hello, whoever just stopped in here, hello. Welcome, welcome. I'd love to spark a nice discussion today. That would be nice. Last week I uploaded my video on balancing a redox equation in basic solution. So if anybody would like to learn about that or needs help with that, feel free to check that out. I also love feedback. Feedback is always welcome. Let's see. Can you guys hear me okay? Testing audio, testing. My mic's right there. Just want to make sure no one can hear me. Nothing wrong with the mic. Testing the audio. Lucky Luke says, yeah, I can hear 100% okay. Welcome, Lucky Luke. I don't recognize your name, so if you're a first-time joiner in my stream, thank you very much for being with me. So the whole point of what we're doing here is just talking to you guys, seeing what's going on, and if there's any chemistry topics you guys would like to discuss, I would love to discuss them with you. Or it doesn't even have to be about chemistry. It can be about whatever you want it to be about. Basically, I'll just be honest with you guys. I just don't have much time on my hands to make videos. So doing these live streams while doing stuff that I'm already doing, like taking my daughters to the park, it's just about all the time that I have. So it's better than nothing, right? Better than nothing. But that doesn't mean they can't be valuable. I've done plenty of live streams where we've had really nice discussions. I've taken clips from them, uploaded them as videos, and some of them have done really well. So comparatively, I mean, none of my content is doing really well right now. I'm still trying to rebuild my channel after taking such a long break from uploading. Still in a rebuilding phase, but yeah, so definitely short on time. So, but I don't know, live streaming is pretty cool, especially out here in the world. It's fun. I enjoy it. Daughter's been swinging for a long time here. Ben, are you enjoying the swing? You enjoying that swing? Yeah, she likes swinging. It's one of her favorite things to do. Almost makes me want to build one in my own backyard. Almost, not quite, almost. But let's see. Open up the chat. No messages since Lucky Luke's I can hear you 100% okay message. Yeah. I invite you to type up in the chat. Let me know what's going on. Let me know how you're doing. I'd love to know. Whatever's going on in your world. Divyang Pandy says, hey, Ben, hope you're well. Right back at you, man. Thanks for joining. I really, really appreciate your being here. That goes for all 5 of you who are in here. According to my screen, there's 5 concurrent viewers, which is actually high for my stream, especially only 4 minutes in. So, yeah, if there's anything you guys would like to talk about, watch out, buddy. This kid's like walking right up to the swing. His parents are just like, what are you doing? Get out of there. Brenna, are you ready to go on the slide or something? All right. I might have to put the camera down for a moment so I can take my daughter out of the swing. But anyway, yeah, I'm trying to think of what I've been up to. Not really too much. I've just been, I was just working. Taking care of the girls. Nothing too crazy going on. I am really, really upset with American Airlines right now. I'm flying out to Vegas in 3 weeks, and they changed my flight once before, and it was like not a big deal. Like they changed my flight to something that was like, leaving earlier and having a longer layover and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, no big deal. Flights changed, let it pass, right? No big deal. And then just yesterday, they changed my flight again from a completely different airport. It's like 3 weeks out, and they want me to travel to a completely different airport to fly out. And I don't want to say exactly which airports they are because I don't want to do too much to identify my location any more than I already have. But it would be nonsense. It would be nonsense. Basically, I'm trying to fly from basically my current location to Charlotte, North Carolina, and then fly from Charlotte, North Carolina to Las Vegas. And they changed it from flying from my current location to flying from a completely different airport. And it's actually quicker for me to drive. It's about a 2-hour drive all the way to Charlotte, North Carolina from where I am. So it's actually quicker to drive to Charlotte and just fly out of Charlotte than it is to, drive out of my way to this other airport and take an hour-long flight to Charlotte. And then it's just a big mess. And the worst part about it, well, there's two bad parts about it. Number one, they didn't offer anything to make it right. They didn't offer, some miles. They didn't offer a discount. They didn't say, oh, let me give you some of your money back since you're no longer taking this second flight. Nothing. They didn't offer anything. And then the other bad part about it is, as a taxpayer, I'm actually being forced to bail these inefficient, I don't want to call them names especially because I'm around children, I don't want to use any swear words, but I just don't like that I'm forced to pay for these incompetent people. And of course, the lady I'm on the phone with can't do anything. Oh, well, sir, all we can do is just like, I don't want to hear any of that. I just want to know like what you can do to make it right. So all that I can do is just never, ever fly American Airlines again. American and United, I think they're connected. American Airlines, United Airlines, they both suck. And I'm just never going to use them again. I heard Southwest is pretty good. I don't really have a whole lot of experience flying. I think I've only taken maybe 7 flights in my whole life. I'm like almost 31 years old. But I'm not really super well traveled, but damn, American they really, really piss me off. So, and then also, certain states in this country might be doing shutdowns again soon. And I hope Nevada is not one of them because, I have a flight reservation, I have a hotel reservation, I have a shooting range package. We're going to shoot, hopefully this video doesn't get demonetized because I'm talking about firearms, but it's all legit. We're just going to like a shooting range where we get to shoot a few different guns, a pistol, a shotgun, an assault rifle, and a sniper rifle. We get to shoot all those guns in the same experience. So that's one thing I have booked. And then pretty soon I'm going to book a dinner reservation over at the Gordon Ramsay restaurant. We can try some beef Wellington. I think that'd be really nice. But all of that relies on Las Vegas still being open. So a lot of it's up in the air. It's a really, really stressful situation. I hope they don't shut down. We're only going to be there, planning on being there for 2 nights. So all I ask of them is that they stay open for those 2 nights so that we can enjoy our time in Las Vegas, something that I've planned months in advance. And anyway, I'm getting a little bit off topic here. Any chemistry topics you want to bring up, please feel free to bring them up. Brenda, are you done swinging, or are you... My daughter's been swinging here for a minute now. All right. Ariane Pratap says, next time they'll shift your destination as well. Yeah, I hope not. But with American Airlines, I guess anything is possible. You just get whatever they feel like giving you at this point. That's how I see it. Saad Patel says, hello, Mr. Patel. How you doing? Very, very happy to have you here. So yeah, basically, like I was just where I was going with that was that's basically kind of what's going on in my world lately. Working hard, working a lot, taking care of my daughters, and trying to plan out my holiday season. We got Thanksgiving coming up next week. I'm going to be driving down to Florida from South Carolina to spend some time with some family for Thanksgiving. Luckily, Florida is a good state in terms of, they're not super totalitarian. They're not locking everything down. They never really did, at least not nearly as much as other states in this country. So I get to drive down to Florida, spend some time with family, and then, December, I think it's Friday, December 11th is when my flight to Vegas leaves. And assuming I can still go. I'm expecting that to be a lot of fun. I've been to Las Vegas once before. I went like 4 years ago in 2016, and oh man, it was just so much fun. I had a great time. So, Lucky Luke says Toronto and Canada is going on lockdown Monday. So tired of this COVID nonsense. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why they're going back to lockdowns. I mean, even the World Health Organization at this point has retracted their previous recommendation of lockdowns. They no longer, at least unless they flip-flopped a third time, they no longer recommend lockdowns as an appropriate measure to combat the spread of the virus. The truth is, and obviously I'm not a virologist or anything like that. But from what I understand, the truth is that the least costly way for society to deal with a pandemic, and again, it depends on how bad it is, like how lethal it is. In the case of COVID-19, it's like 99.9 something percent survival rate. But the least costly way to society to deal with something like this is to allow the virus to run its course through the healthy, non-susceptible population while taking as many precautions and measures as you can to protect the susceptible population. Because then you don't get all this blowback with the economy, you don't get all this blowback with people, increase in drug overdoses, increase in alcoholism, increase in suicides. You also have people who are scared. They're scared to go to the doctor to get their, to get their screenings for a lot of these illnesses. There's a lot of illnesses out there, like, colorectal cancer is one of them, where, you go to the doctor and get screened for it, and they can detect it, and operate on it or treat it before it spreads into cancer. They can find like precancerous polyps and treat them before they become cancer. And there's a lot of people who are just scared to go out and do those things. So there's a lot of costs associated with locking down. People who pretend that locking down is like 100% the right thing to do, and that it's not, that it's all benefit and no cost, or that they're certain that the benefits of locking down outweigh the cost of locking down. All those people are full of crap, and you shouldn't listen to them. It's challenging, right? There's costs and benefits with everything, right? But my point has always been to do the right thing, not do the thing that you think is going to be beneficial for the most amount of people, but do the right thing. And it's never right to force people to do stuff. It's never right to say, hey, if you open your business, I'm going to charge you a fine. If you don't pay the fine, you go to jail. And if you try to resist going to jail, I'll tase you, I'll shoot you, I'll do whatever. That is not right. That is force. That is bullying. We all teach our children, don't hit, use your words, make as convincing, compelling argument as you want, but don't use force. Do not hit others. Do not initiate the use of force against others. Self-defense, that's another story. Self-defense is totally justified against an imminent threat, but do not initiate. Do not be the one who is causing, in the first place, force to be used against other individuals. That's kind of how I choose to live. And so far it's treated me pretty well, but yeah, forced lockdowns, I'm definitely not a proponent of them at all. But I don't really do a whole lot anyway. Like, I don't travel a whole lot. I pretty much go to work, come home, go to work, come home. I'll go to the park like I am right now, but I'm not really one of these like, rampant virus spreading people. Like, I just kind of mind my own business and work and spend time at home for the most part. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I really hope people don't shut down. I mean, I'm sorry to hear about what's going on in Canada. Canada's a great place. I actually went to Ontario once. I drove all the way there from Florida. It was crazy. I know I've told this story before in my live stream, so if you've heard it before, then I apologize for repeating myself. But I drove all the way from Orlando, Florida to Barrie, Ontario. It was crazy. But yeah, it was good times though. We went dog sledding, we went snow tubing, just all kinds of stuff. We went tubing because I'm not graceful or coordinated enough to stand on skis or a snowboard. I'd love to learn how, but living in the South, I just don't have much of an opportunity to keep practicing. So I've always sucked at snow sports. But I don't do them very much. Anyway, but yeah, hopefully Toronto and Ontario. I don't know if it's the whole province of Ontario that's doing this or if it's just Toronto, but hopefully they lift it as soon as possible, because it's just not we're social creatures. We're social animals. We need other people. We need other people. And to those who are susceptible, or to those who have family members with whom they come into contact frequently that are susceptible, I sympathize and I support any effort that you would like to take to protect yourself, protect your family. I am all for that. I am all for that, but I am not for any kind of force against the rest of us. The rest of us should not have to put our lives on hold, because I think everybody has a responsibility to protect themselves and their families. I don't think anybody has a responsibility to protect anybody else. That's just my opinion. But if you guys want to talk about something else, I think I'm kind of rambling about this COVID stuff. I've done it before, and sometimes it's a good conversation. Sometimes it just kind of devolves into a circular, just arguing in circles with people, which I don't want to do. I don't want to stoke any hostility or anything like that. Like, I don't want to, be a source for people to get like upset or angry or anything like that. I consider myself a positive person, generally speaking, and I don't want to attract hate. I don't want to attract negativity to my life or to my webpage or anything like that. So, if there's any other success stories that you have, or just pleasant, positive news that you'd like to talk about, let's switch gears and talk about that, shall we? Because even in the midst of all this crap, there's still a lot of good things going on. I mean, just look at this, okay? Look at this. 6 weeks, this beautiful baby girl came to the world, and I mean, it's been amazing, man. Being a father, being a parent, it's the best. Totally recommend it. Lucky Luke says, I wish I could live in the U.S. I think it's one of the few, maybe the only one country where you can protect yourself property. I really like the Constitution. It should be respected. Yeah, definitely. Like the whole purpose of this country being put here was to keep, this country was basically founded under the idea that government is evil. People tend to forget that. The whole Bill of Rights, right? The first 10 amendments to our Constitution. If you read them, all that they talk about is not like what you're entitled to. They talk about what the government can't do to you, right? They say the government can't mess with you with regard to, speech, press, religion. That's the First Amendment. The government can't mess with you when it comes to gun ownership. That's the Second Amendment. The government can't search your house or seize any of your property without a warrant. That's the Fourth Amendment. So all of the rights that are in the Bill of Rights, first 10 amendments of the U.S. Constitution, are all about the government not being able to do stuff. They're called negative rights. They place no obligation on anybody else other than just not to mess with you. And that's kind of what I've been talking about this whole time. Is just, don't initiate force against people. It's wrong. I don't care how beneficial you think it is. It doesn't matter. It's wrong, right? If I steal some of your money and invest it and pay you, even if I double or triple or quadruple your money, that doesn't make it right for me to steal your money to begin with, right? And the investments could have gone south. I had no way of certainly knowing whether it would help you or not. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, America, we got our problems. We certainly do. That's, I'm not going to dispute that. But, compared to most other places in the world, I'm proud to be an American, for sure. All right, I'm going to take my daughter out of this swing. I think she's been swinging for like over 20 minutes now. Hey, Brenna, are you ready to go on the slide? See if I can switch the camera. Brenna, hey, are you ready to go on the slide? Yeah, I think you are. Let's see if I can do this without disconnecting my cables. Brenna, come here. Yeah, we're going to go slide. Here we go. Oh, there it is. Oh, man. Keeping up with two little ones is exhausting, but very fun and very rewarding. Very rewarding. Good times. Definitely recommend anybody out there who is on the fence about having children or who believes they would never want to have children. I would implore you to reconsider that, because man, it is the greatest thing. It really is. Now, also it's really important not just to have children, but to have children with the right partner. Choosing the wrong partner can lead to just perpetual, terrible misery. But with the right partner, have as many kids as you can afford. Do it. You won't regret it, but you might regret not having them. I read a study once that said that like the most common regret that people have when they're about to die, like when they're on their deathbed, is that either they didn't have children or that they didn't spend more time with their children. And that's really important. I think I'm doing my best not to be a regret of mine when I die. I don't want to be, looking down the black tunnel of death, regretting that I didn't spend more time with my kids. I want to die as peacefully as possible, knowing that I did spend enough time with my kids. So, all right, we're venturing over to this other part of the park now. So, what else do you guys want to talk about? Just talking about myself this whole time, but what do you guys want to talk about? Are you guys taking any chemistry classes currently? If so, what chemistry classes are you taking? Are you taking general chemistry? Are you taking organic chemistry? Are you taking physical chemistry, analytical chemistry, biochemistry, inorganic chemistry? What are you taking? I'd love to know. Maybe we can talk about it. Lucky Luke says, how many children do you have? I have 2. I have this little girl right here, and then I have this little girl right here. 2 daughters. They are 2 years old and 6 weeks old. So, good question. Yeah, 2 kids, and that's all the kids I'm gonna have. Just these 2. Mahek Sayed says, hey, hello, Mr. Sayed. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. If not, apologize profusely. But thank you for joining the stream. Definitely appreciate your being here. What's up? What's up?
It's stuck again.
So yeah, trying to pivot back to chemistry here. If there's any chemistry topics you guys would like to see discussed on this channel in the near future, please let me know. Even though I'm really, really busy, I always try to squeeze out as much time as I can out of my day, out of my week to produce some chemistry content. And if I can't produce chemistry content, then I at least want to talk about it in a live stream. Maybe I can clip part of the live stream and publish it as a video. But yeah. I'm trying to think. So a few streams ago, I did this live stream where I had like a Word document open on my computer, and I was making a list of all the topics that people wanted to talk about. And I got some pretty good responses. Somebody wanted to talk about balancing redox equations, and since then I've published 2 videos on it. One with acidic solution, one with basic solution. Somebody wanted to see something about like chemical kinetics, the concept of a rate limiting step, and I do have content on that, but I'm happy to make more. Hi, Brenna. Hey, you want to come down? You want to take the big step down? Come on, baby girl. I think you're too little for that. When you get older, you'll be able to do it. Lucky Luke says, I'm still not sure what to do with my life. I know almost nothing about chemistry. Just find it interesting what you do, though. Oh, okay. Well, how old are you? I mean, in some sense, it doesn't really matter how old you are. Whoop. There you go. Had to help my daughter down there. In some sense, it doesn't really matter how old you are. A lot of the advice that people give about, to people who say they don't know what to do with their lives is pretty similar. But, and I've talked about this before, and I think, if I had to boil it down to, there'd be like 3 main points of advice that I'd give to somebody who doesn't know what they want to do. And the first would be to start narrowing down your career options based on your personal preferences, and do it categorically. So what do I mean by that? So you can ask yourself, do I want to work inside or do I want to work outside? Let's say I don't want to work outside. I do want to work inside. Okay, so that automatically eliminates all of the jobs for which you'd be primarily working outside. You could say, do I want to work alone? Do I want to work in small groups? Do I want to work in big teams? And then let's say you want to work in small groups. Okay, so then that eliminates all the jobs for which you'd want to work in small, alone or in big teams, right? So you can start sort of narrowing down your list of options based on your categories that follow your own personal preferences. The second thing that I would recommend is to, as much as possible, get out. I mean, I know it's hard right now with lockdowns coming back and everything, but get out. Go to coffee shops, go places, talk to people. You never know who can introduce you to a new idea, to a new opportunity, to a new career. Like there are jobs that I've had, like my current job. I didn't even know that this facility that I work in existed. I didn't know. I mean, the same thing with my last job. Like I had no idea that it existed. The only reason I found out is because I put myself out there. I knew people. I networked. Networking isn't just about trying to nail the job that you want. Networking is also about discovering jobs that you otherwise wouldn't even know exist, right? So that's another thing I'd recommend. And then the third thing, and this is probably the most important, is to be kind to yourself. It's okay that you don't know, and the more that you attack yourself, and believe me, I sympathize if this is, I'm not saying this is your situation, but if you're anything like me, like if I don't know, like it just bothers me and I attack myself and I think there's something wrong with me, and it's just like, none of that is, first of all, none of it's true. And second of all, none of it's actually going to help either, right? So be kind to yourself and don't compare yourself to others, right? Don't compare yourself to, some other kid who graduated in the same class who's, got a six-figure income or something, because that kid may not be happy. You don't know. You don't know what happens behind the closed doors, right? And focusing on other people, it's just not going to do anything for you. So just to recap, number one is narrow down your options by categories. Do I want to work inside or outside? I want to work inside so I can eliminate everything from outside. Eliminate things that don't work, right? And that'll help get you closer to things that will work. And then I would also say, what was the second one? Second one was get out. Build a network, talk to people, and that'll increase your chances of discovering something that you might not even know existed, or or if anything, it'll help you get into something that you want, right? And then the third thing is to be kind to yourself. Be as kind to yourself as possible, and utilize your family, your support system, and all the rest of it. So hopefully that's good advice. I know it probably doesn't immediately help everything right now, but that's my answer to that. So a couple more messages in the chat. Shaikh Assad says, hi Ben. Hello, Mr. Assad. Vegeta. That's one of my favorite shows when I was a kid, Dragon Ball Z. Hello, Vegeta. Nice to see you. Arya Kumaran says, hello, sir. Hello, how are you? Sorry, I'm kind of multitasking right here, trying to help my daughter get up these steps without her falling backward and cracking her skull. It's crazy how unsafe some playground equipment is. I mean,
It's her turn.
obviously, like, you don't want to make playground equipment too lame and safe, but the stuff that my daughter's playing on right now is like, if she falls back, like, she could really get injured. So I have to be careful. Lucky Luke says, almost 32, don't really need a job since I'm financially okay-ish. Just feels like things are about to go south with leaders, so I'm preoccupied with figuring out what's going on instead. Yeah. Well, at least you're okay financially, right? That's more than you can say for a lot of people. But be careful, baby girl. Sorry, my attention is kind of divided right now. I have to make sure my daughter is safe. Gotta make sure my daughter is safe. And then I will bring my attention back to you guys, I promise. Mohammed says, hello. Hey, Mohammed, I recognize your name. Welcome back. Old Thought Rasul says, hi. Hello. Nice to see you. Mohammed says, how's it going? It's going really well, man. It's going really well. Busy, exhausted, but, wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm at the park with my two girls. This little one right here, she's sleeping on my chest. And then this one is a little daredevil on the playground equipment. If she's not careful, she could fall and get injured, and that would mess up our day. So yeah, it's going really well. I'm doing well. There are a couple of days before the end of the year that I'm going to take off of work, because the way that the time off works at my job is like, if you don't use it by the end of the year, you lose it. It doesn't roll over. So there's probably a few days toward the end of this year that I'm going to take to produce as much content as possible. So hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, there's going to be a lot more videos coming. I'm going to try to bang out like at least 4 and then just publish them weekly. So I'll have like 4 weeks worth of content made on one day. That would be nice. So a couple of questions. Okay, so Serial Chiller, I like that name. It says, watching you from Bangladesh. Well, hello, back to you from the United States. Mohammed says, why are you always carrying a baby? I don't always carry a baby, but first of all, it's a nice way to form a bond with your newborn. And also, my daughter really likes this position. I mean, she's been sleeping pretty much this whole time, so as a parent, a lot of times you just do what works, you know what I mean? You just do what works, and this is what works. Having her on your chest really works. Then he says, where are you on live? It's I'm at the park. I'm in South Carolina. That's all I'm going to say. I'm at a park in South Carolina. Don't want to do too much to identify my location, but I suppose if you were super interested and you had a hack, or you're gonna, like, if you wanted to search aggressively to know where I am, you could probably figure it out, but it's all good. Got a super chat. By the way, if anybody else is interested in sending a super chat and following Lucky Luke's footsteps, that would certainly be appreciated. Thank you very much for your super chat, Lucky Luke. Says, I like what you're doing, what you're about. Thank you, man. Yeah, I just try to be the realest dude that I can be, I like chemistry. I like to talk about it. I like to educate the world about it as much as I can. And then, I like to chat with you guys, and wherever the discussion ends up is where it ends up, I'll try not to shy away from any topic, no matter how uncomfortable or controversial. I've talked about some pretty controversial stuff on this channel, and for the most part, everybody, has been pretty civil, and it's been really nice. It just goes to show that you can have a conversation about a controversial issue without, turning into a back and forth, nasty name-calling argument, bickering type thing. So, I just, trying to do my thing. It's always difficult, just from the standpoint of time. There's just never enough hours in the day. You know what I mean? There's so much more that I'd love to do with my chemistry content, but I just simply don't have the time. And also, family is kind of the number one priority for me. So they're always going to come first. So that's why I'm here now. That's why I'm at the park. If I decided to blow off my family and stay home and shoot a video, like, it's not going to happen. I'm gonna, maybe after I take care of my family, but family will always come first. So thanks again for your super chat. Whoa, watch out, baby. Oh boy, took a big step. You gonna climb back up, or are you gonna come down? I think maybe you should come down and play on something that's a little more safe, a little safer. Lucky Luke says, hope this helps some way. Yeah, man, it really helps a lot. Leaving likes, leaving comments, saying thank you, saying good work. Like, those are all really good forms of feedback, good forms of support. But really, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna, I'll be totally straight up and honest with you guys about this. Donating money, like sending super chats, that's like the ultimate form of compliment, right? When you actually put some skin in the game, some chips on the table, so to speak, that is like the ultimate way to show your support to somebody. And it means that I can, the more donations I get, I can afford better equipment. I can just more motivated to make content. And also, if I was able to be like exclusively crowdfunded or something like that, which I don't plan on is going to happen anytime soon, given how few people watch me nowadays. But I could venture into doing this full time. I always have that. I always have that in the back of my mind. Is maybe at one point I can quit my job, and not that there's anything wrong with my job, but like I just think like doing this full time and just educating the world about chemistry and doing that, as a full time effort would be, and to be able to obviously make a decent enough income to support my family and this and that would be like my dream job. But the problem is I'm not really a risk taker. I don't really take big risks. So having to quit my job and have like no income or very, very limited income is just a terrifying thought to me, especially since my job has good, health insurance benefits and stuff like that. It's expensive, it's a few $100 every check that I get. It's like a few $100 that I have to pay in for my health coverage, but it's really important to have it. So you gonna come down, baby girl? Ooh, are you coming down? Wow. See how steep that is? Like, you could fall down. Like, it's always crazy. It's always nerve-wracking. All right, let's go. Let's go down. Whee! Oh, there we go. There we go. On the ground where it's safe. Oh, she's trying to climb back up again. Oh, boy. Never a dull moment. When you have two little girls, never a dull moment. And I don't know how sensitive my mic is, but my littlest one just made a little whimpering noise. Benna, what are you doing? Are you going to climb back up? What are you doing? Watch out. You got to clear the way. Wow, you narrowly escaped being hit just in time. Good job. Oh, man. Sorry. Trying to pay as much attention to you guys as possible. Not easy, but I think it's a worthwhile undertaking. Chakalingam says, good morning from India. Good morning, right back at you from here in the United States of America. Good to talk to you. How are things going in India? I don't hear much about India in the news. Well, I don't hear much about anything in the news because I don't watch the news. The news is crap. Media is full of shit. Media lying to us all the time, spinning stories, trying to manipulate our minds, and it works for people who can't think for themselves, but I can think for myself, and as a result of being able to think for myself, I choose not to partake in the media nonsense. So, all right, Brenna, you gonna climb down? Yeah. But serious question though, like, what's going on in India? What is going on there? I'd love to know. Big country, a lot of people, a lot of languages too. That's one thing I learned. Sit down, sit down. Oh my goodness, she's gonna give me a heart attack. Can you sit down, please? Sit down, there you go. I don't want you to fall forward. Falling forward would be devastating for everybody, including you. Most importantly, you. Anyway. There's a big hole here. Do you want to maybe move to that side? Oh, okay. Wow, you are a brave little girl. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Ugh. Oh, man. Anyway. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Like I said, my attention is highly divided right now. Lucky Luke said, totally agree. Agree with what? Agree about the media? Yeah, they suck. They suck. But you have to understand, like, they're not, like news organizations and things like that. Like, they may call themselves news, but they're really like not in the business of delivering factual knowledge or information to people. What they are in the business of doing is that they are in the business of selling content to advertisers. And it has little to nothing to do with objective truth or objective reality, right? I mean, it's a very, very simple business model, So they really don't care what's true. They just want to get those eyeballs, just want to get those clicks. If you can pretend that you're, honest and genuine and objective and everything, and you can get dumb people to believe it and still sell to advertisers, then you win. So Chaka says, sir, I'm preparing for the IIT JEE Advanced. Is your lectures are enough? I don't know. I don't know much exam. Uh, Probably not, I would say, because I don't have a video for every single chemistry topic. I'm trying to make as many videos as I can, as fast as I can, and get through general chemistry as quickly, but with quality content as I can. And then when I'm done with general chemistry, then I'll move on to organic, and then maybe I don't know what comes after organic. Maybe I don't know, physical chemistry or biochemistry or inorganic chemistry. Probably biochemistry, as much as I hate biochemistry, because biochemistry is kind of in demand because there's a lot of students that are like pre-med that need to take chemistry. I really don't like it. I don't know why I don't like it. I just don't like it as much. A lot of like memorization, and I don't know. I've never really been a big fan of biochemistry for some reason. But so yeah, I think my answer would be no. You probably need to do more than just watch my content to study for that exam. And I've always said this to people: is like, don't just watch videos. Don't even just look at your professor's like PowerPoints from their lecture. Like, read the book. Somebody asked me to make a video on studying tips, like 10 tips to study chemistry effectively or whatever. And one of those tips is going to be like, read the book. Don't think that just watching YouTube videos or looking through bullet points on a PowerPoint presentation is going to be enough. Like, read your book. That is your primary resource. And when you're done reading the chapter that you're going to be tested on, read it again and do like all the practice problems at the back of the chapter. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. At some point I'll make that video. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So what else? Yeah, so I think I answered your question, Mr. Lingham. But in any case, I wish you good luck on that exam, and I hope you do really well. I hope you crush it. I hope you knock it out of the park. But I'm gonna go to this other part of the park where I got some shade. Brenna, what are you doing? Brenna's watching another little girl who's playing with blocks. Brenna, you're not trying to steal those blocks, are you? Theft is never the answer. Brenna, what are you doing? Are you going to climb in the tunnel? Oh, there's a tunnel here. You going to climb in it? You going to climb in that tunnel?
For babies. This one's for babies.
Oh. One tunnel for babies, one. What about big girls? You said one for babies, one for big boys. What about big girls? Where do they go? What tunnel do they crawl through?
This tunnel too.
Oh, big girls can crawl through that one also?
Big boys and big girls can climb through.
Totally understand.
And little girls like her can climb through.
Thank you.
I'm only 6 years old and only get up here.
Yeah, I bet. That looks like it's really hard for a 5-year-old or younger to do. Very impressive. Wow. All right, some other children talking to me. Definitely trying not to shoot them, though. I'm just trying to keep it on myself. Mahek Syed says, your numerical solutions are helping me a lot, sir. Thanks. Oh, you're very welcome. I'm happy to have been of help. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Chaka Lingham says, sir, how is COVID-19 in the USA? With a laughing emoji. I'm not sure if that's a laughing matter. People get sick from this stuff, and in some rare cases they die. But also, I don't know. I mean, the USA is a big country, much like India, and it kind of depends by, like New York City got hit like really bad apparently. Where I live, it's not too bad. I've been going to work every weekday. I've been going out to restaurants. I've been doing stuff like that. I haven't gotten it. My wife hasn't gotten it. My kids haven't gotten it, or my littlest one, this one right here, she's only 6 weeks old, but my 2-year-old hasn't gotten it, so it doesn't seem to be as bad. Really, like, I don't know. And again, I don't want to have like a huge like monologue about this again, because I've already kind of done that before in this stream. But really, like, the bigger concern with COVID to me is like what the government is doing about it than the actual virus itself. That is the biggest threat to society, is the power grab on the part of the government. That's my biggest problem. So Mahek says, well, go uploading amazing videos. All the best. Yeah, I certainly intend to as soon as I can. Time's rather limited, but yeah, I definitely intend to upload quality content whenever I get the chance, you know. Um, Chakalingam says, will you visit India? Not anytime soon. Um, definitely not anytime soon, but yeah, I think it'd be nice, you know. There's a lot of places I'd like to travel. I think India, I think there's some cool spots in India. I saw one movie where like, this American was in India and there was some day where everybody was like throwing this like colored powder at each other and he didn't know, so he like wore these like nice expensive clothes and then like these kids just came up to him and just threw these handfuls of colored powder at him. Apparently it's some holiday in India where everybody just throws like just colorful powder at everybody, and that seems like fun. I think I'd like to catch a trip to India during that. But I'm gonna put on my sunglasses. I can't see what you guys are doing because these sunglasses are polarized, but man, the sun is bright. Hopefully, I'm just following my daughter right now. Hopefully we'll turn around and get away from the sun. Brennan, she's trying to go on this baseball field right now. I think, hopefully, we can get out of the sun. The sun is kind of in our eyes right now. What else? Optimus Phoenix Prime says, making kids with the wrong partner is a mess, LOL. Yeah, it is. It's terrible. And, unfortunately, it's all around in our society, People, they just want like 10 minutes of pleasure and they don't think through the consequences of their actions, So they'll have a kid with somebody who doesn't support them, or they'll terminate their pregnancy, which is, I don't even want to get into that debate. But that's a mess too. That has, obviously it kills the baby, and whether you consider it a baby or not, it kills the embryo, and also it can cause some psychological damage to the mom. When 3 years pass, it's like, okay, this kid that I terminated would have been 3 by now. It's I think it messes with women. I really do. And I think if it doesn't mess with women, I think the woman's a complete sociopath, and so is the man who agreed with it. But whatever. Let's not get too far into that. So Nitish Apade, Throwing Colors is festival named Holi. It happens in March. Yeah, that's cool. I want to do that. I definitely want to do that. Lucky Luke says there's also a special event now where they throw poop at each other. No joke. I think cow dung. Wow. I definitely don't want to be a part of that. I'll skip that one. Optimus Phoenix Prime says they are all wrong partner unless what you can do for her. I don't understand. They are all the wrong partner unless what you can do for her. I'm sorry. I don't understand that message. Maybe if you could elaborate on it. Chaka says, sir, does research on physics and chemistry are interrelated? Because I like to become a scientist on both. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap between physics and chemistry. Absolutely, for sure. Gamer Kid. Hey, welcome, Gamer Kid. I don't know if I've seen you in here before, but thank you. He says, sir, it is Telugu poem once read. Okay, I'll just let you guys read that. Okay, I'll try it. Gada jari jari pada adarinity anti bida dani pukala mara. Okay, how did I do? It's probably not good. Nietzsche says, can we play pop science quiz? Okay. Yeah, we can do that. A little hard to read the chat because the sun is just in my eyes right now. We're on this baseball field. I'm trying to follow my daughter. It looks like she's headed toward the dugout. Are you heading toward the dugout, Brenna? Are you going to sit down on the bench in the dugout? Pull the chat back up real quick. Good stream so far. Thank you guys all for participating. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, Optimus Phoenix Prime says, this country is finished. It's a wrap, over, and schizophrenic. That's a new word. I've never heard that one before. Ion Smith says, chemistry or physics? In my opinion, chemistry all day, obviously. Love chemistry. Nothing against physics. I just prefer chemistry. Optimus Phoenix Prime says, have as many kids as you can afford. Sounds like eugenics. Yeah, I'm talking about people who would make good parents, who would raise good children. Why wouldn't they have as many kids as they could afford? I mean, kids are fun. They're a blessing, and they're the whole biological reason for our existence. Is to the whole reason why any organism exists from a biological standpoint is to propagate the species and make more organisms. I mean, that's kind of common knowledge, dude. Chocolingam says, "Sir, what do you think about Elon Musk, my role model?" Elon Musk is awesome. Yeah, he's a brilliant guy, and it's funny because I was kind of debating somebody about this. They were like, everybody looks at Elon Musk like he's some scientific genius, but he's really just a business genius and this and that. I'm like, well, I mean, no. First of all, he has a physics degree, and second, in addition to his MBA, and secondly, he's like the lead designer for SpaceX. I mean, being the lead designer for SpaceX, I think has a lot of technical scientific knowledge associated with it. So he's not just brilliant at business, but he's a brilliant scientific mind as well. And he hires a lot of good people to do a lot of good work. So yeah, I totally am on the Elon Musk train. I think he's he's one of a kind. He's an interesting human being for sure. What else? Nitish says, let we give you small topics you describe in a minute or two, related science, of course. Yeah, I can take a couple minutes to spit out some facts about a random topic. Okay, let's do that pop quiz idea. I really like that idea. So I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I want you to answer it. And we'll see. We'll go over the responses, and see who's right. Okay, so I'm just pulling this question out of thin air. Okay, so what happens to the pressure of a gas when you decrease the volume, assuming that the temperature and the amount of the gas are the same? Let me repeat the question. Assuming the temperature and the amount of a gas in a certain space are the same, what happens to the pressure of the gas if you decrease the gas's volume? Let's see. I know there's a little bit of a delay with live streaming, so. Okay, I got one answer. Becomes water. Got a couple answers. Okay. Lucky Luke says no idea. Okay, I got a couple of answers. So this is good. I like the participation. I might do this more often. What a great idea. So yeah, those of you who are saying pressure increases, you guys are correct. If you have let's say you have a balloon, right? And there's a fixed amount of gas in there, and that balloon's at a fixed temperature, and you squeeze that balloon and reduce the volume, the pressure inside will increase, because the origin of the pressure of a gas comes from collisions of the gas particles on the walls of the container, right? And if you restrict the volume and you keep the amount of gas the same and the temperature the same, you're going to have more gas particles colliding with each other, and more gas particles colliding with the walls of the container. And in other words, you'll have more force per unit area, and that's what pressure is. It's force divided by area, and this is called Boyle's law. Yeah. So Nitish just said it really well. He said that pressure is inversely proportional to volume at a constant temperature, and of course at a constant amount. Chaka says, what do you think about India's science sector? Because it's so slow and many youngsters coming to USA. I think you were so lucky. Yeah, I'm definitely lucky to be here. I don't know much about India's science sector. I think they do a lot of pharmaceutical stuff, so I think in that sense it's pretty good, but I just don't know much about it, to be honest. Gamer Kid says, Indian coaching institutes literally killed my interest towards chemistry. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hopefully some of us in here, maybe myself, can help to rekindle your interest in chemistry. That would be nice. Okay, so let's come up with another quiz question for you guys. Let's say that a thermodynamic system absorbs 5 joules of heat and does 5 joules of work on its surroundings. What is the change of internal energy? Let me repeat the question. Okay, so a thermodynamic system absorbs 5 joules of heat, and notice the words that I'm using. It absorbs 5 joules of heat, and it does 5 joules of work on its surroundings. What is the change of internal energy? What is the delta E value associated with that thermodynamic process? This has to do with the first law of thermodynamics. So I'll let you guys debate about this. Although it doesn't seem like much of a debate. We've had 3 answers that have all been the same. Let's see. Anybody else wants to submit an answer that they think it might be? Let me know. Okay, everybody says, or at least all of the people here have said 0, and you guys are all correct, right? And that's very good, right? So if a system is absorbing 5 joules, then that means that Q, the heat, would be positive, right? So those words like absorb or release are really, really important for these kind of problems. And then, so anything that's done on the system is positive, anything done by the system on the surroundings is negative. So that would be a -5 for the work, +5 for the heat. They add up to be 0. So good job. You guys are smart. Very good job. Let me come up with another question. Okay, let's see. Okay, a couple more questions. Brandon, I don't think we're invited to this party. I'll get to your questions in just a second. I just have to break up this thing going on with my daughter.
Correct.
Brandon, I don't think we're invited here. We're not on the guest list. Let's go. Yeah, well, maybe we'll get some pizza on the way home if you're good. All right, I just got her away from this pizza party she was trying to crash. Okay, so a couple of things. Mohammed says, I just watched a video about redox reaction. It was quite helpful. I'm from Iran, but I'm studying in England. My chemistry teacher is basically awful. Just follow your videos. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. I'm sorry to hear that you have such an awful chemistry teacher over there in England. But good luck to you, nonetheless. Let's see. Bob Dugson, welcome, Bob. I don't recognize your name. Brenda, let's go where all the playground equipment is. Look at all this stuff. Isn't it great? It says, what do you know about dimethyltryptamine? I know dimethyltryptamine, or DMT for short, is very similar in structure to the human neurotransmitter called serotonin. I know that apparently human beings and other animals produce small quantities of it through their pineal gland in their brain. I know that it causes really intense hallucinations. Never done it. I've never done any psychedelics. But I just don't have I don't believe I have a personality that's compatible with psychedelics. I don't think it would be a good experience for me. So I'm scared of them. Stay away from them. But that's all I know about DMT. Don't have any interest in doing it. But obviously, I think people should be free to do whatever they want. So as long as they're not harming or endangering others. So let's see. Shaka says, what job are you doing, teacher or researcher? I'm a researcher professionally. Yeah, I do chemical research on active pharmaceutical ingredients. Ansh says, please teach selective and simultaneous precipitation. I'm not familiar with those terms. I know all about precipitation reactions. I don't know what you mean by selective, and what was the other one? Simultaneous? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Sir, what happened before Big Bang? That has no idea on my mind. I don't know, man. I'm not an astrophysicist. I have no idea what happened before the Big Bang. I don't know. That's a question that's way more advanced, way more beyond the scope of anything that I know about. And I am not ashamed to admit that I don't know that. So let's see. Another question by As Middle Sorry, I know I'm not pronouncing that right. It says, is it known that proteins denature at high temperatures, but they also denature at very low temperatures? Could you explain why? Um, yeah, I mean, uh, if you think about, chemical bonds and everything, like, because denaturing proteins just basically means that the chemical bonds within them are being broken. And if you supply enough kinetic energy to a system, if something gets hot enough, then you can supply, more than enough bond energy, or more than enough to actually break the bond energy of those bonds. Because remember, bond energy. I actually just had a recent video on bond energy. Bond energy is the energy required to break a chemical bond. So yeah, with enough kinetic energy, you can break the chemical bonds. As for cold, that's a good question. I'll have to give some more thought about that. I'm sure I could sort of work through it in my brain and come up with an answer, but right now I'm a little bit stumped. I'll be honest. But that is a fascinating question, and if you're interested, I can get back to you on that. By the way, if anybody wants to contact me, there's lots of ways to contact me. You can get on my Discord server. You can contact me through like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. A lot of ways by which you can get in touch with me. So however you want to do it, I look forward to your communication. And if you want to find the links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Discord, all you have to do is just go to my YouTube channel page, youtube.com/BenSkinVideos, and at the top of that channel page, there's a banner, and on the bottom right-hand corner of that banner, you'll find little icons for Discord, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can follow me on all those platforms. I would certainly appreciate it. My Twitter, my Facebook, my Instagram are just not many followers at all. Just trying to build a following, but I understand it takes time and effort. So anybody wants to help me out with those, I would certainly appreciate it. But let's move on, see what other people are talking about. Let's see. And by the way, a gentleman by the name of Lucky Luke earlier sent the only super that I've had so far in the stream. So if anybody else would like to send a super chat, I would certainly like to receive it. For those of you who don't know what super chats are, a super chat is a donate or a message, a chat message that you attach to a monetary donation, and the chat message gets pinned in a nice, beautiful color to the top of the chat window, and that chat message will stay at the top of the chat window for a duration that is proportional to the amount of money donated. So, for instance, you donate like $5, then your super chat stays up for X amount of time, $10 more time, and so on and so forth. So, it's a nice way to monetarily show appreciation for your favorite creators. And if I'm one of your favorite creators, then feel free to send one my way if you want, but you don't obviously are under no obligation to do that. I'm happy just to have you here and have you participating in the chat. Thank you guys so much just for being here. All right, so enough of that. Let's go on. Okay, there's more chat going on talking about denaturing proteins. Chaga says, what do you think about DARPA? What's DARPA? I don't know. It sounds familiar, but it's not clicking in my brain right now. I don't know what you're talking about. So let's see. Oh, I just lost my daughter. Oh, there she is. Brenna, are you climbing through that doorway? Are you climbing through that doorway, baby girl? Okay, so Nietzsche says, what do you think about quantum chemistry? How is it different from common chemistry? It's interesting, but it's also really kind of confusing, to think about, like what happens with because basically, like when it comes to quantums, you're talking about the behavior of just the smallest objects that you can imagine, right? Like electrons and quarks or whatever. And at that level, matter does not behave similarly to matter that exists on the large scale. So if anybody's interested in learning more about the quantum mechanical model of the atom, I do have an entire playlist on my channel called the quantum mechanical model of the atom. So but yeah, it's really interesting how you get things like the do you want to ride the swing again? Hang on, I might have to lift my daughter up and get her on the swing. Do you want to take the swing? Yeah, okay, let's do it. Hang on. Let's do it. All right, let's go. Yeah, both feet in. All right. Okay, here we go. Just gonna get her started. Ready? You ready? Are you ready? Wee! She loves the swing. Sometimes I wish I loved anything in life as much as she loves the swing. All right, so let's open the chat back up. I believe where I left off, I was talking about quantums. So let's see. Yeah, quantum, it's things like indeterminacy, right? I don't know if you guys know what indeterminacy is, but like, let's say you have a cannonball, some object like a large object, a tangible object that you can see. If you were to take that cannonball and shoot it at, let's say, just a certain, let's say that cannonball has a certain mass, and you shoot it at a certain angle with a certain initial velocity, and then you take an identical cannonball from the same starting position and shoot it with that same angle and that same initial velocity. Both of those cannonballs will land in the exact same spot, right? Everything else the same, they will land in the same spot. And so what that means is that the cannonball behaves in a deterministic fashion, right? The present conditions determine the future. But electrons don't work that way. If you take two electrons and shoot them from the same location with the same initial position, same initial velocity, same location, they will most likely end up in different places. And that has to do with Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which is fundamentally the result of electrons behaving as waves in addition to particles. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Let's see. Chaka says, sir, have you visited Area 51? No, I've never been to New Mexico. I've been to Arizona because I went to the Grand Canyon when I stayed in Vegas for 6 nights. And I've been to Nevada, of course, because that's where Vegas is. But I've never been to New Mexico, which is home to Roswell, which is home to Area 51. Nope, never been there. A lot of desert, from what I understand. It would be cool, though. In fact, my wife actually took a trip when she was working. She used to work as a crime scene investigator, and she took a trip to New Mexico, and she went to, I think, one of the nuclear testing sites that they have there. There's a nuclear testing site in New Mexico where the first atomic bomb, the first uranium-238 bomb, the same type of bomb that was used, that Harry Truman used to drop on Hiroshima and Nagasaki back in the days of World War II. So a lot of interesting history when it comes to nuclear bombs and stuff like that over there in New Mexico. But as far as all the UFOs and aliens and stuff like that, man, I mean, it's fun to think about when you're a kid, but when you're an adult, it's like whatever. So Nidish says, nice, you're explaining uncertainty principle and electrons' wave behavior. Do you know Newton believed photons are particles? He called them corpuscles. Yeah, I actually have heard that term corpuscles before. But as much as Newton was a great scientist, he, I'm not gonna say wrong. I'm not gonna say he was wrong, but he was just, not quite as advanced as scientists are today, which is, makes sense. You have more technology, more sophisticated instruments. You're gonna know more. So, but yeah, the whole uncertainty principle thing is something that you can observe using what's called the double slit experiment. So if you take a beam of electrons and you shoot them at these two slits that are spaced fairly closely together, and then collect the data on the other side in the form of a screen or a protector, you'll see what's called an interference pattern, which is the result of the electrons behaving as waves. Now, if you shoot one electron out at a time, you'll still see an interference pattern, which means that the electron is not interfering with other electrons. It's actually an individual electron interfering with itself. which further supports the fact that the electron is behaving as a wave. But then if you set up a laser beam to detect which slit the electron goes through, then all of a sudden you lose the interference pattern, and all you see on that screen are just two spots where electrons have been hitting as if they're particles. So again, if you want to see the interference pattern, then you have to remove the detection method for knowing which slit the electron went through. And if you want to see which slit the electron went through, then you lose the interference pattern. So, interesting stuff. The observation sort of affects the outcome, and that's what's so difficult about understanding electrons or other quantum, systems, is that, when you use light to measure an electron, it behaves differently than how it was behaving before you used that light to measure the electron, right? Just the sheer act of observing the electron, you have to dramatically alter the electron's behavior, so it kind of just behaves differently depending on whether or not you're observing it. So, interesting stuff. Let's see. Nitish says, I read his autobiography. He was a little arrogant regarding others' scientific beliefs, but indeed a great scientist. Yeah, there's a lot of scientists out there who are pretty arrogant. But I think that the arrogance of a lot of scientists is kind of like, it comes from kind of the same place that is, the same sort of stuff that kind of made them great scientists to begin with. Like they really, really were confident, they believed in themselves, they worked really, really hard, and they were proud of the fact that they worked really, really hard and made a lot of groundbreaking discoveries. I mean, on some level, I can't really blame the guy for being arrogant. Like he did a lot of great work. I mean, I think he deserves all the credit that he has for that. So, I don't know. Arrogance is something to me that arrogance doesn't really bother me that much if it's earned, in a sense. Like if somebody is like, fairly arrogant, but they've accomplished a lot, it's like, I don't know. That doesn't really bother me as much. Now, it does bother me when people are arrogant, but they have no reason to be arrogant. Like they haven't really accomplished anything, but they're still somehow arrogant. That's kind of annoying. But someone who's like really, really like well accomplished and like worked really, really hard and got really successful, for them to be a little bit arrogant, I don't know. It just doesn't really bother me so much. But anyway, let's see what else is in the chat. Nitish says, that's like saying one can measure only one thing between position or velocity of an electron. Do you know about one electron universe theory? No, I don't know about that, but it's not, yeah, it's very similar to that, like, it's like the less you know about the electron's position, the more you know about its velocity, and the less you know about velocity, the more that you can know about a position. So yeah, that's basically what Heisenberg's uncertainty principle says. And by the way, I do have a video. Obviously, I can't send a link for it right now, but I do have a video on the uncertainty principle that breaks this down pretty well. So anyway, all right, I think I'm gonna get going pretty soon here. I'm a little tired. My voice is getting kind of hoarse. I need some water, and I think my girls have been here long enough. So I'm gonna get going pretty soon. If there's any last minute messages you want to type in the chat, or if there's any last minute super chats you want to send my way, they would be welcome too. But I am going to close the stream shortly. I forget who it was, but whoever came up with that idea of like asking quiz questions and getting participation and answers, good job. That was a great idea. I definitely would like to do that more in the future. And also another thing, I've said this over and over again, but another thing that I want to do is to have like a call-in show where I put up my Discord, and you guys can call me on Discord, and we can have like a live stream where we just talk, because I like doing these live streams, but I think I would like it a lot more if I could actually hear you guys and speak to you guys in real time rather than just talking to a screen, and there's like a delay with the chat and all that. So keep your eyes peeled for that. What else? Igor Hawking says, love you, man. You and your family have a blessed Sunday. Thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate your participation. Thank you. Before that, as Meagle says, do you think that a scientist has to become a naturally curious personality as a necessity that was apparent since his or her childhood? I think that's probably how it is most of the time, but I don't think that's like a necessity. I don't think that's like a prerequisite requirement or anything like that. Let's see. When will you come live again? I'm not sure. Probably in a week, maybe a little less. Good question, Serial Chiller. Nietzsche says 4 years of BS, 2 years of MS, 4 years of PhD, 2 years postdoc, and doing core research. Random guy on the internet. Bullshit. Sorry. I don't know who you're talking about when you say that. Are you talking about me? Probably not, because you just literally said after that, you're doing amazing, buddy. Keep inspiring. So you're probably not accusing me of spitting, bull crap. And I'll say bull crap here because I'm at a park with children. But yeah. All right. So if there's nothing else, then I appreciate the keep inspiring message. Thanks, Nitish. I really appreciate your participation in this, as I do with all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining and for participating. I wholeheartedly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. If you weren't awesome, you wouldn't be watching this channel. So there's a little arrogance for you right there. But in all seriousness, though, thank you guys so much, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Feel free to visit my channel page for links to my various social media profiles: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I have a Discord server. We're picking up a little bit more people in there every week, so pretty soon I'll be able to do some pretty fun things with it, pretty cool educational things with it. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So Nitish says, no, I'm saying how random scientific non-believers people think about science and scientists. Yeah, okay, I'm following. I understand what you mean. Yeah, I've seen things like that, like I've seen, like Dave Farina has put out a couple of videos about that, like about how, there are these guys that believe in some sort of like, alternate, cosmology, alternate physics that, basically refutes everything that that scientists have been studying for decades on end and stuff like that. And he's kind of doing these like exposed videos where he's like calling these people out, and they're fun to watch, but at the same time I'm not sure if they actually accomplish much, because I'm not sure if it occurs to him that maybe he's doing the bidding of these people by giving them more attention, even though it's not good attention. It's you're calling the guy out and for lack of a better term, ridiculing him for being a bullshit artist. It's still, like I didn't even know who the guy was until I saw Dave's video on it. So it's the whole idea of like no, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Any publicity is good publicity. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about that. But I understand the frustration though when people just, there's people who devote their lives to studying these scientific phenomena, and then people just think, oh, I think I know better, and that's all wrong because I said so. Like, yeah, it's pretty frustrating. But anyway, I think I'm going to get going. So Nitish says, I'm also doing a PhD in chemical engineering. Same page though. Yeah, I hear you. All right, well, thanks guys. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you as soon as I can. I'll upload my latest educational video as soon as I can also. All right, peace.